there, Bridget Lynn Dolgoff, Consciousness of Economics and Urban Farm Project. Anyway, getting prepared today. Spirit's been talking to me. I guess I'm going to be going on a journey here pretty quick. Not sure exactly where or what direction, but when Spirit says downsize, get packed up, get everything organized, that's what I do. I get prepared. So anyway, I wanted to talk to you kind of yesterday. So it's not average dreaming. You know, it's not the same kind of dreaming like that Carl Jung talked about or Edgar Cayce. The kind of dreaming that I'm talking about is mostly shamanism, Yaqui, Toltec, beliefs and ancient practices. Even Carlo Castaneda talked about it in The Art of Dreaming. Took him 15 years to actually master it. I've been lucky because I've been kind of doing it, most of my life. So, anyway, so what happens is that all day yesterday, I just kept feeling myself being pulled. They were trying to get me into the dreaming world because there's a lot of stuff that my teachers are there. So teachers that would be in the dreaming world would be like shamanic medicine people who learned how to leave this reality with their bodies. And you can go back to some of my older videos, and they dream themselves into another world that's sometimes parallel to this one. And the go-between is dreaming. So there's a couple, in the course of, 50 years of study, there are several shamans that could go back and forth between their world and ours once they bypass it. And one of them, Lynn Andrew talks about in her trilogy that came out in the 80s, and her name was Twin Dreams. So Twin Dreams was like, my ideal of what, I wanted to be able to do eventually and take my body. So anyway, yesterday I had a weird dream. Somebody that I know that died over a year ago came to me and said, a couple kind of significant things. They said something about 10 hours. So this was at 4 o'clock yesterday, Pacific time, that I had this nap and kind of dream communication. And then the other thing that they said was, you might want to fix yourself up a little bit. So, the only time that I actually fix myself up, that I would wear makeup and all of that would be like if I had to go do some kind of like major business transaction. So I thought it was interesting. Anyway, last night, they were pulling me into like lots of different kinds of dreaming worlds, and they were kind of downloading information into me. And I was I'd say I probably was in the third attention. Not asleep, not awake, conscious, but in parallel realities, not go to sleep and have a dream. That's what I did at the lunch for the nap. So, it was kind of majorly intense because at one point I started to wake myself up and I was saying, wow, okay, I totally understand that. And then it would be like swoosh into another huge amount of information download. And then boom, I'd connect all the dots and I'd get that on all levels and all, levels and dimensions and through all the senses and the different levels of consciousness. It would just be like a wave. Anyway, this went on like all night. And then I woke up and I feel kind of like discombobulated, but I also have this like really hard drive to get everything organized and put it together for whatever is going to get ready to happen. So looks like there are some people on the planet like myself who, my teachers and in the dreaming world, they're really, really working with me right now. So something big is going on. And I'm not going to say planetary, but all this stuff always pertains to me and my elevation or upgrade, if you want to call it. But there were several really, really, really big downloads. I mean, big ones. So I just want to let you know that I know that all of a sudden I've come to a place where I feel like everything's being removed and all the downloads are coming so that I can move forward and do the work, that I'm going to be doing. And I think that there are a lot of other people may be having some of the same energy downloads, energy waves. But, I'm not an ascension person. I don't believe in ascension. I believe in rapture. I believe in, not in rapture, but I believe the word rapture, ascension, if you want to use that word, or the harvest, which is when the extraterrestrials, the bad ones, come back and harvest all the people. So, I work with Native people, and they don't really ever talk about, ascension or a shadow planet, or, they don't really plan on leaving either. But they think that when the shift comes that, 80 to 90% of the world could be gone and they'll still be there. And they have prophecies about that, about what it looks like the morning they wake up and all the shift has happened. So the thing is that maybe, you should be really careful about lending energy to the whole ascension thing and getting really wrapped up in it and then end up on a spaceship for somebody's, meat locker. Just saying, just got to be really careful with the stuff that you think and that you are putting out there. And every time I go through a massive energy upgrade, there's never any information about any kind of ascension. There's always this information about fixing Earth that we're on, right? And taking care of it and getting it back in full operation. So I think anybody that thinks that they can run away or everything's going to be fine, remember, it's the same thing you were sold about Jesus. Jesus is going to come back and get you. Jesus is going to save you. And I mean, that really has turned out to be kind of a major, fraudulent situation that we were sold. I mean, there's a lot of information that you can find that the Romans actually made most of the Bible. They added some of the, Old Testament from the Jews in their original text. And then the rest of it, they just kind of made up. And so be careful, everybody's like this, the next diet is your savior or your salvation. The next, you win a lotto, you get an inheritance. That's the next savior, your salvation, right? And so you just gotta stop attaching yourself to some kind of, salvation and savior, because you know what? You need to figure it out and you need to get it done. And that's all I've got to say about that. You are not going to be allowed to not fully understand and at some point take responsibility, not only for yourself, but 7 generations above and 7 generations below. So, you should just start preparing for that now, when the work comes and time to get going. So mostly I just want to kind of talk to you just about these massive downloads that waved across the everything, and we'll just give it a few days and see what comes about. Anyway, I'm down on the river, so me and the doggy are going to get some swimming in and some garbage picking up, and we're just going to have a really good day working with nature and the water and all our relations. We're going to be of service for the rest of the afternoon for them. So anyway, that's it. Get outside, be of service to the trees and the plants and the soil and the animals. Get to know them. They came here from multiple worlds, the tree world, and I talked about this before, the plants, the weed world, the water world. You know, they all came from different dimensions and different planetary constellations, and they all came here to help us participate. And they're our teachers. They're our friends. They're our grandmothers. They're our grandfathers. You know, they're our brothers. They are our sisters. So, you know, get off your phone and get off the computer and cut up all your credit cards and get out in nature and see what it has to learn you. See what it has to learn you. Anyway, Bridget Lindahl, Golf Conscious of Economics, Urban Farm Project. Have a spectacular day. Be of service. Bye.